2 years back, my wife Sarah received a stage 2 breast cancer diagnosis. The battle went on for nearly a year. Chemotherapy, radiation, lumpectomy, then additional rounds of chemo. I stood by her side through every single visit. I drove her to each appointment, held her as she vomited, scrubbed the bathroom tiles in the middle of the night, dealt with every insurance nightmare, kept my job going full-time, and single-handedly raised our 2 children during her weakest months. I never once voiced a single grievance. The day she rang the victory bell after her final session, I broke down crying even more than she did. 6 months into remission, one evening after we'd tucked the children in, she asked to talk seriously. She explained that the illness had transformed her completely. She felt she had missed out on parts of life. She wanted to feel truly vibrant once more. She requested a one-time free pass, no follow-up questions allowed. She had already chosen someone, a colleague named Ryan who had supported her throughout the treatments. He messaged her daily, delivered flowers on 2 occasions, and stopped by her hospital room on days when I was collecting the kids. I had no idea about any of those gestures until she confessed them that night. I asked whether anything had already started between them. She swore nothing physical had happened yet. I asked if she was in love with him. She insisted it had nothing to do with love. It was simply about reclaiming her sense of femininity. I told her I recognized how devastating the past year had been. I told her how deeply I loved her. I said I would move mountains to support her emotional recovery, but not in this way. I pleaded with her. Sitting there on our sofa, I explained that allowing this would shatter our marriage forever. She called me self-centered. She said I could never comprehend what it feels like to stare death in the face. She insisted that if I truly cared, I would grant her this one experience. I replied that if she truly cared, she wouldn't demand it. She accused me of centering everything around myself. I told her this was about our future together. She ignored me and went through with it anyway. On a Friday evening, she announced she would return by sunrise. I remained in the living room until nearly dawn, eyes fixed on nothing. She walked through the door at 6 a.m., went straight to the shower without a glance in my direction, then climbed into bed. The following morning, she carried on as though everything was normal, flipping pancakes for the children, giving me warm smiles over breakfast like we were still okay. We were far from okay. I contacted an attorney first thing Monday. By midweek, the papers were prepared. I chose Friday to hand them to her. She skimmed the opening page and actually laughed. "You can't mean this." "It was only one evening. You promised you'd stand by me no matter what." I reminded her that I had promised to stand by her healing, not by this decision. She declined to sign, ripped the documents in half. The next week, I had fresh copies delivered to her workplace. She rejected those as well. Then she began appearing wherever I went. My gym, the school on my assigned pickup afternoons, even the parking area outside my office. She would weep, plead, and accuse me of discarding 12 years of marriage. She informed mutual friends that I was deserting someone who had survived cancer. She told her own mother that I was punishing her for having been ill. Her mother phoned me. "She nearly died. How can you treat her this way?" I answered that she had chosen to sleep with someone else and expected me to simply accept it. "It was a one-time lapse," her mother said. I pointed out that she had arranged it ahead of time, informed me in advance, and carried it out regardless. That isn't a lapse. That is a deliberate decision. Sarah attempted individual counseling, not marriage counseling, just for herself. She hoped her therapist could persuade me that this was part of her recovery process. She forwarded me research papers discussing trauma reactions and identity struggles after cancer. She claimed experts viewed her actions as a typical outcome of what she had endured. I replied that experts also recognize that actions carry normal, natural consequences. 2 months later, a woman named Lauren texted me. She introduced herself as Ryan's wife. I had no clue he was married. Sarah had never once mentioned a wife. Lauren explained that Ryan had repeated this exact pattern 3 previous times with 3 different female coworkers. He deliberately sought out women experiencing major hardships, divorces, bereavements, serious illnesses. He would arrive bearing flowers, send constant supportive messages, make them feel uniquely valued. Then he would sleep with them and quickly lose interest. She told me he had received formal HR warnings twice, but was never terminated because his sales performance was outstanding. She said Sarah was neither the first nor would she be the last. She shared screenshots of the conversations between Ryan and Sarah. In those messages, Ryan assured her that he comprehended her on a level I never could. He claimed I was restraining her growth. He told her she deserved complete liberation, and in one text sent 3 days prior to the free pass night, he wrote, "Just frame it around the cancer." He won't have the heart to refuse. Sarah had not originated the hall pass concept. Ryan had guided her toward it. He had weaponized her illness to bypass my resistance. When I placed those screenshots in front of Sarah, the color drained from her face. She sank to the kitchen floor and stayed silent for a full 10 minutes. Finally, she spoke, "I had no idea he was married." Then she added, "That's what you're hung up on." He told me he was separated. And then, "He instructed you to use your cancer to manipulate me, and you followed his advice."